Grades are starting to come out for those that participated in the NBA Summer League. And we got to talk about one of our own Chicago Bull. That is Noah Essengue, who received a mid level grade from Bleacher Report. We got to talk about it. And then my man's Yuki Karamara selects a jersey number that is a remembrance of one of the good ones we had in Chicago not too long ago. We're going to talk about it and break it all down, but you gotta hear the music first.
Cognac gang.
Shot Boys podcast with the Cognac Boys. I'm Cognac Boy Bobby, and I'm holding it down on another daily episode. So if you tuned in with me today, make sure you go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell as well. We know Summer League, we've been done with that for just a little minute, but now the grades are starting to flow out from different outlets on how the players in the Summer League did and what did they like, what did they didn't like. But Bleacher Report came out and gave my man's Noah Essengue a solid C for his performance during Summer League. They went on to say Essengue provided a glimpse into what a fuller package looks like during his third game, pumping in. Pumping in is wild. Pumping in 21 points on 7 of 14 shooting, including 3 of 8 clip from distance. He looked at home getting off his three ball and showed more variance with his handle and 2-point shot making. Offense is still very much a work in progress overall, as it is for almost any teenager. SCA can be out of control going downhill and defaults to bail out mid range or contested layups when he gets in trouble. The defense just as all over the place. He can be pesky when playing a full board and flash high energy on the glass. He can also disappear from possessions or get caught playing catch up after getting blown by. So I'm just gonna ask y'all: is Bleacher Report, are they being fair? Or are they being a little bit disingenuous by giving my man's Noah Essengue? At one point, I thought about it. I'm like, the performance during Summer League wasn't really A+ worthy. So I already kind of, felt that. But I think that my man's Noah Essengue right here from Bleacher Report, I think a fair grade could at least been a C+ or a B-. Y'all let me know how y'all feeling about that. Simply because I'm feeling like in that first game we watched Noah Essengue, he came out. He absolutely looked lost on the basketball court. That was just my opinion. I know some people had other things to say, but it is okay. For me, I felt like in that first game, Noah Essengue, he didn't know where he needed to be. And to be quite honest with you, the entire team looked like a dumpster fire in game one of Summer League. And we was like, what did y'all do during practice? Did y'all go up and call up and order Domino's all day? Or did y'all just bring in a bunch of Dunkin' Donuts and coffee and kick it in the morning? Like, what was actually going on? But then we seen Noah Essengue come out in game number two after having comments of saying, I have to be better. I played terrible. I understand I have to be put in this work. I'm disappointed in myself. He took full ownership and accountability for himself and pretty much laid it out on the line that I have to get better. So in game two, you seen him go out there and actually get better, more activity on the defensive end, a little bit more on the offensive end. And then in game three, with Montes Buzelis back on the court, he backed Montes Buzelis up. My man's went out there and got that 21 points. My man's went out there and damn near got a double-double. I think it was a really, really good showing. And I think that those two backup games, the last two games of his summer league, I think that is well deserving of at least at a minimum a C+ type of grade or a B- at the high end. However you want to chalk it up. I think that's what would have been fair for Noah Essengue. But at the end of the day, I'm just gonna say this: it's summer league. It is what it is. Nobody is expecting my man's Noah Essengue to be a perfect prospect right now, a perfect basketball player right now. This kid is only 18 years old. the youngest guy that entered this draft this season, and he has a lot of work to do. Hence why when we talk about my other mans that's coming up and talk about Yuki, I said that if you want to have a developmental plan that includes Noah Essengue, it has to pair up with Yuki Karamara being his point guard and being there for him to help set him up, to help him understand where he needs to be, how he needs to operate, how he needs to be aggressive on the offensive side and a defensive side. But I think that some of these grades, you just take it for what it is. The Bleacher Report, they gave Cooper Flag a B. So you take it for what it is. They gave VJ Etchcomb a B. You know what I'm saying? And I think that those guys in those short stints, yes, Cooper Flag didn't come out and have a great first game, but in that bounce back game, that made up a lot of ground. Like in VJ Etchcomb, he came out firing from the jump. It was just crazy. I think it was like 28 and 10 or something close to that. That VJ Edgecombe came out into his summer league and started doing, and I think that was very, very impressive. So you can say they are harsh graders, or they're not trying to give it all away. But it is what it is. Now, we'll throw in that CBS Sports gave Noah Essengue a solid B. They gave him a solid B, citing those last two games of Summer League that we really was like, okay, Noah Essengue is really, really looking like a decent young player. What can he potentially turn into if he works on his game once he adds on more weight, once he gets more comfortable in the NBA? What will he necessarily look like? What would the ceiling look like? And I think CBS Sports is right on par. I think that we get the dunk in a Furphy dunking on my man's Noah Essengue, and yes, it was a crazy dunk. I'm not even gonna hold you, but to back up and bounce back for those two games and perform in that manner for a guy that's so young and so raw and talented, you got to at least come up to a B minus for me. C plus, B minus, B. In that range, I would have been good, but just completely average. I'm not gonna go on that level. I think it's fair. However, you want to grade him. You want to say he was mid, say he was mid, because at the end of the day, it is summer league. I'm only gonna take it for a grain of salt. Now, if Noah Essengue was going out there dropping 22 and 10 every single night, I'll be like, hold on, I wouldn't be so much concerned about the grade, but I'll definitely be looking like this kid got some talent, because we know that there's a lot of hoopers that can hoop in summer league, and then when it's time to play NBA basketball, it's a little bit murky, it's a little bit shady, it's cloudy over there. You know what I'm saying? We expecting the rain to come when sometimes these guys go from summer league and then you see him on the NBA floor versus NBA talent. So again, I take it as a grain of salt, but I do believe in fairness. If you are going to be fair with your evaluation, at least be fair. You know what I'm saying? Because Noah Essengue, yes, he struggled in game one. Yes, there were some possessions that he did not look like he was in the right spot. Yes, there were some moments to where you can say, hey, my man, what are you doing? You got to go out there and be a little bit more aggressive, and you got to be a little bit more efficient. But we talking about efficiency in summer league. Come on, guys. Come on. Come on. Like, let's be real about the whole thing. But again, the grades are gonna be the grades. Nobody is always gonna give the good stuff, or the you know, give players their fair due, depending on who it is, what organization they come from, because the Chicago City has some type of bias when it comes to the Bears, the Bulls, the Blackhawks, the Sox, the Cubs, so on and so forth. There's a lot of different things to it. People be like, man, Chicago, y'all trash. And we can be up. We could be up. We can go 15 and 5. And yeah, Chicago, y'all still trash. That's just how it go. That's just how it go in the city of Chicago. But I say Noah Essengue, he has a lot of work to do. Moving forward, and Noah Essengue has a lot of work to do. And it was good to see him in summer league to start to lay the foundation. I don't think that the foundation has dried up. I think that my man's Noah Essengue still has a lot of work to put in to establish himself as having some type of foundation. I'm honestly gonna go out on a limb and say that Billy Donovan and the coaching staff have him in a similar situation like a Montes Buzelis, to where they send him to the G League, they call him back up. If it's garbage time, we'll throw him out there. Maybe in a couple games, he might get a little bit more minutes, you know what I'm saying? But then it's going to be a developmental process. Me personally, I don't necessarily agree with it. I would like to see the young kid go out there, but at the end of the day, you don't want to set him back. So I think that though some of us may not like the idea of having him in and out of the lineup, in with the Bulls, going down to the Windy City Bulls, some of us may not like that idea, but I think that with a guy that who appears to be ready on defense, definitely needs to understand his place on the basketball court, definitely needs to understand how he can get his shots or where he can be effective at on the basketball court. And once he starts to gain that ground, that's when you can go out there and then say, hey, here's more minutes like they did on Montes Buzelis. And we know that Montes Buzelis was more gifted offensively at that moment in time last year. But I think right now we looking at Noah Essengue, who's more probably gifted and ready on a defensive side right now. If we're comparing their starting points between Noah Essengue and Montes Buzelis, you look at it in a different way. But I think that's what the developmental plan is going to be moving forward. I think preseason is going to be another big moment for him. And if he's able to show that he's looked at his summer league film, if he put in some work on his downtime along with his coaching staff, if he has a good showing in preseason, that'll be a good starter for him. But obviously, you're still gonna know that there's gonna be a developmental process for Noah Essengue. So a lot of us is gonna have to be patient as much as we don't want to hear that and not want to see Noah Essengue play, because you're going to be seeing a bunch of other rookies that's around here getting a lot of time depending on what team that they're on. And we're going to be like, man, look at VJ Etchcombe. Man, look at the Brooklyn Nets and Igor Demon and all those guys getting a bunch of minutes. It's the same shit we did last year, including myself. I definitely did it last year. Was like, man, give Montes minutes. And I'll be right. I'll be real with you. I go, man, look, is it hype? Before we move on to Yuki, is it hyperbolic or am I out of my mind for saying that if Montes Buzelis played way more, way earlier, he could have had a chance to get the rookie of the year? Is that crazy to say? Because I think that he absolutely would have had a chance, because Zachary Richardshire, he started off rough. Alex Sarr, he started off rough. And Montes Buzelis started off rough. But then once January hit, we was all, everybody was running for the finish line. And I would have, hey, I would have bet on Montes to cross that finish line and get that rookie of the year. But hey, it's what's done is done. We move forward. I'm expecting big things out of Montes Buzelis, and we're going to see where we're going to go with Noah Essengue and his development as we move forward. So, hey, before we get up out of here, got to talk about my man's Yuki Karamara. My man selected number 8. Huh? Yeah, that boy took number 8, man. It kind of sting a little bit. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was a fan of Zach LaVine. I was one of those ones that, hey, Zach LaVine, at some point, it's like 2 years ago, I'm like, Zach LaVine, the way he was playing, top 5 shooting guard in the league. That was just my opinion. I believe Zach LaVine had a lot of skill, because there was some people putting Bradley Beal over Zach LaVine. I was never on that ship, me personally. I was not on that ship. And but yeah, that was a discussion that we was having. And my man's Yuki came in. Then he took number 8. I'm not necessarily mad at him. He don't owe Zach LaVine nothing. So it is what it is. You gotta go out there and get the number that you want. The only thing, hey, look, if you would have selected number 1, we was gonna have to have some words. I was gonna, hey, my dog, no, we ain't doing all that. Yeah, we ain't doing. But I think, yeah, number 1 is in the rafters now. We coach, we coach you. We ain't got to worry about it. We ain't got to worry about it, man. So I think that, hey, everybody know you ain't coming to Chicago and putting on number 1 from the Chicago kid, Derrick Rose. You feel me? It ain't happening, bro. It's not happening. But at the end of the day, Yuki selected number 8. It did sting a little bit. I'll keep it real with you, because I was a fan of Zach LaVine's. I didn't necessarily believe that we can win a championship with Zach LaVine, but I absolutely felt that Zach LaVine could have gave us a chance, barring any movement from our front office. It's some good decisions coming out of the front office. And if the front office would have actually placed emphasis on making some changes once Lonzo Ball went down, and then You know what I'm saying? Being a more aggressive to try to push past that first round exit that we got to experience a couple years ago. But hey, again, what's done is done. Now we move into the Yuki Karamara time. I guess, will we see him on the NBA court that much? I don't necessarily know at this particular moment, but he said he going with number 8. He said he going with number 8. Hey, the good thing is he said he feel home. I guess that's the best thing that we could take out of it. And one last thing before I get up out of here. What the fuck is going on in Bulls Nation to West? People feel like we can't even celebrate a young guy getting a good opportunity. Have we really been tarnished that much in Bulls Nation for us or anybody to feel like, damn, we can't even celebrate the signing of a young man that has worked his ass off and showed well and has earned a two-way contract? We can't celebrate that. I say to hell with y'all. I'm gonna celebrate some stuff. I'm not gonna sit up here and have pom poms and throw a celebration and act as if we're going to the damn NBA finals. But why do I have to be pessimistic or an asshole to a young guy that showed that he can fucking hoop? And now he's on my team and give me somebody to cheer for and look forward to instead of having guys that was previously on this team. And no shade to them because I think they was decent players, but like a Carlick Jones who never really had this type of passing ability and scoring ability of as a Yuki, or Adama Sanogu, who was down at the G League and we're like, damn, bruh, you gonna come up to the real big leagues and do something? What about Marco Simonovic? What the fuck? Like, we supposed to sit here and just be petty all day? Hey, my people that's rocking with us, y'all know we get the we understand where we are. But that don't necessarily mean we got to be shit-faced and mad all the damn time about everything that goes on in Bulls Nation because we don't really like the front office or we can't stand the owner. What the fuck? Yuki ain't do nothing to us. He went in and he did his damn job and got himself a contract, and you should be excited for that. I ain't like I said, you ain't got to go out there and throw a damn parade and get the damn parade bus ready. But we could absolutely say, hey, good job out of Chicago Bulls front office for picking up another good player who can be impactful if guys go down with the injury and we got to call somebody up, or if we need somebody to send down to the G League like a Noah Essengue, and you pair those two together, and they can absolutely work well with each other. There's nothing wrong with that. So if you want to be the pessimist, be the pessimist. Fan how you gonna fan. But for me, and for most of the people we love over here on Shy Bulls podcast, we know we still got a long way to go as an organization, but that does not mean we have to crap on the players that enter the Chicago Bulls and not be happy for some of these players who work their ass off to get to this point in time. We don't have to be pessimistic and negative Nancy's all the damn time. So I'm gonna just chalk it up at that, and I'm gonna just leave that right there. I think that's a good ending point. But hey, that is it for me today, y'all. I appreciate y'all for tuning in into another episode. Before y'all get up out of here, hit that comment box, give me some feedback, and let me know how y'all feeling about today's episode. I appreciate y'all. Make sure y'all always see red, and y'all already know. I'm gonna catch y'all on the next one for sure.
Cognac.